All right, let's jump right in. When you think about global conflict, what comes to mind? Probably armies, right? Tanks, soldiers. But the battles today are being fought on a much, much wider field, using a whole new set of strategies. It's a new global playbook. So here's a question for you. It sounds kind of like the setup for a joke, doesn't it? You've got militants in the Red Sea, you have online creators trying to go viral, and then you have diplomats in these secret back channel meetings. I mean, what on earth could possibly connect them? Well, the answer is they're all masters of a new kind of strategic game. Each one, in their own arena, is using a set of modern plays designed to build influence, apply pressure, and, at the end of the day, win. And understanding this playbook, it's really the key to making sense of our world right now. So let's start with the first page of the playbook. And it's a classic, really, just updated for the 21st century, weaponizing the flow of money and goods. It's all about finding a critical choke point and squeezing. And the most visible example of this is happening right now. Since late 2023, Houthi rebels in Yemen have been launching missiles and drones at commercial ships. Now, this isn't random. It is a very calculated move targeting one of the world's most vital arteries of trade. The scale of this disruption is just staggering. You see, the Red Sea isn't just a body of water. It's basically a superhighway for global commerce. We're talking about 15% of all global trade passing through that one route. It just goes to show how a relatively small group, by targeting one single spot, can have a huge global impact. And that impact, well, it's felt directly in our wallets. The cost to ship a single 40-foot container has absolutely skyrocketed to over $4,000. That's more than triple what it was just a few months ago. And that price hike doesn't just stay on the water. It ripples through the entire supply chain, making everything from electronics to clothes more expensive for all of us. So the bottom line is this. This isn't just a shipping problem. It's a global economic problem. Economists are estimating that this one point of conflict is going to shave nearly half a percentage point off global economic growth this year alone. And that is play number one. Create economic pain to achieve your strategic goals. All right, let's move to our next play and see how this all connects. While these economic battles are raging in public, there's always another game being played in private. High stakes, back channel diplomacy, where the future can be decided in a single conversation. To really get this, let's look at a case study, the fictional Islamabad talks of 2026. The goal here was to end a war and reopen another critical choke point in the Strait of Hormuz. So you had the highest levels of government, the U.S. and Iran, working together. But, as you can see, after 21 hours of talking, they left with no deal. So why are these talks so incredibly difficult? Well, the sticking points are just immense. According to reporting, the U.S. side was pushing for a 2-decade pause on uranium enrichment. I mean, that is a huge ask, and it just reveals the massive divide that often exists behind closed doors, even when both sides are trying to make a deal. Okay, so we've seen economic warfare and back-channel diplomacy. Now for a play that might seem totally out of left field, but trust me, it is absolutely essential to this modern playbook. The game of influence, and how its very rules can be bent. Let's take a quick detour into the world of YouTube for a sec and talk about this concept called sub for sub, which is short for subscribe for subscribe. The idea is super simple. I'll subscribe to your channel if you subscribe to mine. It seems like a fast and easy way to make your numbers look bigger, right? But here's the catch, and it is a big one. It just doesn't work. Why? Because the goal isn't just to have a big number next to your name. The goal is to have an audience that actually engages with you, people who watch and like and comment. A subscriber who never ever watches your videos is just an empty statistic. So what you end up with are two completely different kinds of influence. On one side, you've got these empty metrics, a big subscriber count, but no real community. And on the other, you have real engagement, watch time, interaction, and a community that the algorithm actually sees as valuable. And that difference is absolutely critical for what comes next. So what happens when you take that sub-for-sub mindset, prioritizing a powerful image over factual engagement, and you apply it to global conflict? You get our final play, narrative warfare. This is where it gets really interesting. See, narrative warfare isn't about winning a debate with facts. It's about crafting Reza Abedi. He doesn't just say the war will be short, he gives a shockingly specific timeline, 2 months and 25 days. That kind of certainty is an incredibly powerful narrative tool. It's not a suggestion, it's presented as an absolute inevitability. A claim that specific immediately makes you ask, why? Why that exact time frame? And the answer he provides is the very core of his narrative way. The explanation is where this gets truly mind-bending. According to Abedi, this isn't a military deadline, it's a religious one. He frames the conflict as a race between two prophetic clocks, a deadline for a red heifer sacrifice on one side, and a deadline for victory before the holy month of Muharram on the other. Suddenly it begins a battle of divine calendars, a story that completely reframes the entire conflict for its audience. So, we've looked at 4 very different strategies for the new global playbook. Let's pull it all together now and really see what it means. So, we have economic pressure and chains. We have quiet, high-stakes part of the deal. We have the game of influence, where these empty numbers can be mistaken for real power. And finally, we have narrative warfare, where the most powerful weapon of all can just be a well-told story. And this is probably the most crucial takeaway. These plays aren't separate things. They're all happening right now, interacting with each other in real time. A blockade in the Red Sea influences diplomatic talks, while a powerful story on social media can change the political math for everyone involved. To get the full picture, you have to be watching the entire field at once. Which leaves us with one final, and I think important question. In a world where conflict is waged with supply chains and secret talks and influence stats and competing stories, how do you even know what game you're in, let alone whose rules are being followed? Something to think about.